2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love doing math. I love doing math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love doing math. I love doing math. Hey, math is so easy to me. It's so easy. Count it up like.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's math lesson on dividing fractions. I'm so excited. Last week, we learned how to add and subtract fractions. We learned how to multiply fractions. Today, we are all about division. Before we get started, I want to direct your attention to these 5 steps. These are the steps that are going to guide us through every division problem that we encounter today. Remember, after this video, when you do your independent practice, it might be helpful to come back to this video so that you can use these 5 steps to guide you through your work. Before we get started on the practice problems that we're going to work on together, let's review some important division-related vocabulary terms. Here we have the division problem 5 over 9 divided by 2 over 3. When we're dividing fractions, it's important to know which fraction is the divisor. The divisor is the fraction we are dividing by. So in this case, the divisor is 2 over 3. The other fraction is referred to as the dividend. It will also be important to remember the definition of a reciprocal. You might remember from earlier this year that the reciprocal is one of 2 numbers whose product is 1. To find the reciprocal of a fraction, we flip the numerator and the denominator. So for example, if we were to find the reciprocal of our divisor, 2 over 3, it would be 3 over 2. That's because 2 over 3 multiplied by its reciprocal of 3 over 2 equals 1. Let's take a look at some division problems together. Okay, today we're going to work on solving 2 different example problems together. Make sure that whatever I'm doing on the screen, you're doing on your own piece of paper. So our first problem asks us to find the quotient of 5 over 9 and 2 over 3. Okay, 5 over 9 divided by 2 over 3. Step 1, convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. Write whole numbers in the form of a over b. Well, we don't have mixed numbers or whole numbers in this problem, so we can jump to step 2. This is where things get tricky. Step 2 says to rewrite as multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. Let's first identify our divisor. It's 2 over 3. So we need to rewrite this problem as multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. And the reciprocal of 2 over 3 is 3 over 2. Now we can jump to step 3. Step 3 tells us to compare cross factors because we're now following the steps of multiplication and simplify if possible. Well, 9 and 3 can both be divided evenly by 3. So that's what we can simplify by. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. So I'm going to cross the 3 out and write a 1 there. And 9 divided by 3 equals 3. So I'm going to cross the 9 out and write a 3. And 5 and 2, those are both prime numbers and they cannot be simplified. So now we can move to step 4 where we multiply numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator. But first I'm going to rewrite this problem so it's a little bit less messy. So I have 5 over 3 because the 9 simplified to a 3, and 1 over 2 because the 3 simplified to a 1. And that will give me 5 times 1, which is 5, as my numerator, and 3 times 2, which is 6, as my denominator. 5 over 6 is my final answer. Let's look at our second problem. Our second problem is 7 over 10 divided by 5. Now, step 1 is going to apply to this problem. Step 1 tells us to convert mixed numbers to improper fractions and to write whole numbers in the form of a over b. Well, 5 is a whole number, and you might remember from our previous videos that when we write whole numbers in the form of a over b, we write a 1 underneath. Adding a denominator of 1 to a whole number does not change the value. Now we can move on to step 2. We're going to rewrite as multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. First, identify your divisor. In this case, it's 5 over 1. Now we can rewrite as multiplication using the reciprocal of the divisor. In this case, the reciprocal is 1 over 5. Okay? Step 3 tells us to compare cross factors and simplify if possible. Okay, 5 and 7, those are both prime. They can't simplify. And 1 and 10, that can't be simplified any further either. So we can move on to step 4, which tells us to multiply numerator by numerator, 7 times 1, which is 7, and denominator by denominator, 5 times 10, which is 50. I think that gives us our final answer of 7/50. All right, that is all for today's lesson on dividing fractions. You have plenty of independent practice to do. Reach out to your teachers if you have any questions. Have fun.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love doing math. I love doing math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I love